Set 11 has finally come to a close. We are barak, in case you haven't realized. Now, set 11, now you may know if you've been a follower for this channel, wasn't my favorite set. I had my personal gripes with it, but that doesn't mean that the competitive scene isn't fun to watch. And in fact, it's quite the opposite. Dude, the fuck, dude. Okay, words can't describe, man. Like, this game was insane. Dish Soap, you motherfucking genius, man. Today's video, we're gonna watch exactly how he did it, because you may know that he won today, but you may not know how. And this was one of, if not the best game of TFT I've seen in a very long time, and the execution was mwah, chef's fucking kiss. Anyways, going to the game, just to give you a little bit of context, this is a checkmate format tourney. So Dish Soap and I believe Li Chuan and Ning Li and KC Double, these guys are all within checkmate, meaning that they need to go first in order to close out and win the tournament, aka you don't go first, you can't win. So right now Dish Soap is playing for first place no matter what. Now you might be thinking, okay, if he's going for first place, surely he's got to play Fortune, right? Because Fortune is sort of the general heuristic is that if you play Fortune, you go for that big cash out and then you can just like win out the game, right? But the problem in a tourney format, especially with really, this is again the top echelon of players across the globe, they know that Fortune is like this whole huge win condition, and it's so easy to grief you. So Fortune, Dish Soap was even talking about it out loud a little bit in this clip, but he was talking about how I don't really want to go for Fortune here because I'm scared that somebody will probably just open for completely, and somebody else who's not in checkmate yet can just go 8th and still qualify to be in check because they need 20 points to qualify, and even going 8th, that plus 1 point would push them over the edge, put them into checkmate, fuck Dish Soap over, and benefit themselves in the end. So he doesn't want to play Fortune in this spot. But anyways, that's why he wasn't even holding Kabuko or whatever. But going into a 2-1 augments here, going along Sage Crown and stationary support. If you know anything about the meta, because I certainly don't know too much, but I know enough to look at this shit and go, this fucking sucks. This shit is terrible. This is dog shit. You don't want to be seeing any of these really at the beginning. Mythic Crown, for example, is one of the big ones that you really want to be seeing at 2-1, at least from what I understand based off what Dish Soap's commentary. But nonetheless, looking at these three, these are all dookie. You probably reroll Sage, you probably reroll going long, and you probably hold on to stationary support, although you're definitely not very happy about it. But he definitely rerolls left and right side. He sees birthday present, march of progress, and stationary support, again, ever since, like, to my memory, the support augment change, or not the support augment, sorry, the support item changes, stationary kind of sucks. Like, it used to be this, like, auto click, like, you're never unhappy with it, but now you're kind of unhappy with it if you click it. So I think he's looking at his other two options like, nah, this kind of sucks. So he rerolls it, hits Pandora's items, doesn't like Pandora's items here either, and to be completely honest, he's scouting around trying to see what everybody else is playing, and he sees a Fortune Crown, and he's like, dude, like, what is this shit? This shit sucks. So he's thinking, okay, I need to play for first, so here's what my game plan is. I am going to take birthday present and try to play for the high roll, aka when he gets to level 8, birthday present will automatically give you a 2-star 4 cost. So 2-star 4 cost units like the Lilia, things like Kaisa, right? These are units that are really good to play around, and they can definitely win out lobbies based on the current meta. So he ends up going here with the Sunfire Slam. There's nothing really to it. Sunfire is just, it's an okay item. It's never been like an item you're super happy to slam, but for a tempo slam, especially in the early game, you can get a lot of mileage out of it, especially with Rek'Sai 2, who has historically been basically one of the best one-cost frontliners like the whole fucking set. So this so ends up leveling to 4 on 2-1. We're a little behind the camera today, that's okay. But levels to 2-1, gets the guarantee, so he's playing around this 3-story Reaver with a red opener. This round, it's slight mistake. He definitely should be playing the Zyra instead of Sivir here. It's just slightly stronger. But I mean, it's a small mistake, and I believe he corrects it in the next round. But nonetheless, we are going to be trying to play very high tempo. Now, when it comes to birthday present, because the playstyle is a little bit different and maybe you're not aware of exactly how it works, let me break it down for you. Basically, birthday present will give you a unit that is upgraded into a 2-star -4 your level. So currently Dish Soap is level 5, so he'll level to 5, and then got another guarantee because Garen's a 1 cost, 5 - 4 is 1, and then it becomes a 2-star, and there you go. It's you know, it's not hard math, it's just a little arithmetic. But ends up getting another guarantee here kind of sucks. But the idea is basically because you're able to get an automatic upgraded unit, you kind of want to be pushing level, playing tempo. You don't want to lose streak with birthday present ever. It almost fucking, it's just a terrible time. So we see that Dish Soap's playing this very high tempo playstyle, which in my opinion, at least historically speaking, I don't think of Dish Soap as a very aggressive player. When I think of aggressive players, I think of players like Socks. Dish Soap has always been a very calculated player, at least from the way that I view it. He's always been sort of meticulous in the way that he crafts his approach when it comes to playing the game. God, I could be a poet. But he's very, like, he's like the strategist. He's like, if this was Greek mythology, he's like Athena. Like, this dude is very, like, that's why he called them the perfect player, right? Because, in case you didn't know, Dish Soap's nickname in the community is PP, perfect player. Because, one, it just sounds like penis. But also, two, because this guy is so well calculated. Every thought, every decision that he makes, it's very, very well thought out. He goes, okay, this makes the most sense. This is the most logical. What is the most probable? And he tries to play and leverage his possibilities to ensure that he gets the best type of outcome that he can get, right? Again, and the game, like the game is luck, right? The game, there's a lot of fucking variance in the game, but to control your variance and to control your luck, that's what makes Dish so special. That's what makes him such an incredible player, because he leverages his luck like no other. If you want to get better at the game fundamentally, Dish Soap, he's the one that I used to watch the most. I still do, to be completely honest. When I'm trying to learn the fucking set, I watch Dish Soap like all the fucking time, because I'm watching this guy, because the way that he meticulously calculates everything, it's almost robotic. This is like one of the closest we will get to perfect AI TFT. Okay, that's enough glazing. You get the idea. He's very good at the fucking game. But anyways, we secured our 5 streak here, which is super terrific. And again, you might have noticed a little bit in the way that he's like hovering over the level button a little bit. He's kind of like, dude, like, should I level here? Should I not? And that's the important thing about playing around birthday presents, is that because you have to play aggressive and because you have to play around your tempo, you need to be constantly scouting and being like, okay, can I win my matches, right? If I level here and aggressively like fuck my econ interval because I want to level and try to get a stronger unit in my board, am I going to be able to win my matches? And if I do that, what's the risk, right? It's a very risk calculating situation here, because he even scouts somebody. He sees someone level, I think it was level 7, like somebody like super fucking high level for some reason. Oh, I think it's because they were going long, but he's you know, constantly scouting and looking around and being like, okay, like if I, you know, play this guy, what are the odds that if I get my birthday present, it's going to be good enough to beat their board? I hope that makes sense. I feel like I was a little bit redundant there, but anyways, you get the idea. But moving on here to the 3-2 augments here, we got Accomplice, Radiant Relics, and Lucky Gloves. Now, Lucky Gloves is amazing. And Lucky Gloves is like, it's so good for birthday present. The reason why is because when you play birthday present, in case you haven't noticed, Dish Soap hasn't actually slammed his components yet. And the reason why is because he doesn't know if he's playing AP or AD right now. Because he slammed Sunfire, but because birthday present just gives you a 4 cost, you don't know if that cost is going to be a tank, it's AP carry, or it's AD carry. So trying to be able to be as flexible as you can, as long as possible with your items, is super important. And right now, there aren't a lot of good items that really let you lean both ways, except for Lucky Gloves and TG. So Lucky Gloves is incredibly perfect here. So it's not even like it's a no-brainer basically. Like, he just basically auto picks the Lucky Gloves here, and he does something very interesting here. You see he rolls over the left side, it makes sense, but do you reroll the middle as well? And the answer is probably not. And quite honestly, he probably shouldn't have even rerolled the left side. And the reason why is because what is his best 4-2 augment in this spot? Any idea? I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with the synergy of Lucky Gloves, because Lucky Gloves gives crit. Jewel Lotus 3. One of the best, if not the best, prismatic augment you can get at 4-2. And because it works synergistic, the synergy is very good. I don't know if synergistically is a word. But because the synergy is so fucking good, Lucky Gloves plus Jewel Lotus is basically like it's so strong. The combination is crazy. It lets you keep flexible items. You're going to play a strong board. And he is just going to be chilling. He's going to have a good time. So that's why he didn't reroll, because he didn't want to have the opportunity of accidentally finding Jewel Lotus and going, oh shit, now I can't hit it at 4-2, because you can't see the same augment twice. Here in the Tom Kenshin counter, we see that Dish Soap opts for gold. Makes a lot of sense. The whole point of birthday present is that it's supposed to be your fast way ticket to 9. Basically, you get by with the presents that you're given, and then utilizing those and maximizing the value out of those presents as much as possible, basically squeeze the juices out of them, and then be able to use whatever you got and scrap your way to 9 with a 2-star legendary for free at level 9. Typically, when you play birthday present, the tempo is kind of looking like a level 7 at 3-2 if you're rich enough and you're still streaking, 3-5 if you're not, and then level 8 ideally 4-1, 4-2, and then you really want to try to get to level 9 at 5-1, 5-2 if you can. It's basically fast 9 if you will. Those are basically the exact same intervals. Obviously with encounters, the intervals get a little bit mixed up, but hopefully with set 12 coming out, and by the time you're watching this, it's already out. You probably already know, but encounters are fucking gone, so the stage numbers are going to stay consistent, which God bless, because making guides talking about the stage numbers the way they were, fucking terrible. Anyways, Dish Soap very luckily gets another quick love off of the carousel here, so it's potential to get another Lucky Gloves, which is nice. He levels aggressively against level 8 at 3-5, which is kind of crazy, to be honest with you. It's a very high risk play here, and I don't think he scouted this round in particular. I think he should have. The reason being is because even though his board's very strong, it's still very likely that he could fight somebody who's like just super giga strong. This Dr. O guy, I believe, is a Korean player. He has NA2, but this is like Lucky Gloves NA2. And despite the fact that Dish Soap's board is stronger with 2 extra units on the board, Dish Soap's frontline is kind of lacking. And he has a 2-star Lilia, which is a 2-star Lilia, one of the best 4 costs in the game, but it has no items. Not the best. So unfortunately, Dish Soap does lose the streak here, which is a little sad. You could have maybe made the argument that maybe he should have sold the Riven 2 or something for the Lucky Bells on Lilia, but that doesn't make any sense. The problem is that if he does that, then his front line gets even worse, which was the only reason why he lost the last fight anyways. That plus like a little bit less damage. As the fight drags on, I don't know if you realize, the Dr. O's Janna had an Archangels, and because it rolled Archangels, as the fight scales and keeps going and prolongs, eventually Dish Soap is going to lose out. So it was just a bit of an unfortunate situation. I think in most scenarios, Dish Soap actually does win in that spot. It just happened to be that he just got really unlucky with the matchmaking and a little bit of RNG with the TG rolls. But anyways, 91 HP going to stage 4 here, and quite honestly, 91 HP, we're still sitting pretty comfortably, but it's hard to win out from this spot. And I say that because Birthday Present is not really one of those augments that you take in order to like giga win out. You really are playing around a high roll. You really are trying to play around like some sort of gifts from Mort that makes you like jizz in your pants a little bit, for lack of a better term. I apologize, pardon my French, but like quite honestly, like that's what you're looking for here, because if you need something that's gonna be like insane, right? And like the problem is that with Birthday Present is that if you don't find that insane thing, it can be tough to win out because your cap feels a lot lower, because your first prismatic is basically like an econ augment almost at this point, especially as late game approaches. It becomes more and more of an econ augment rather than a combat augment, if you will. It's kind of more of a combat augment because the combat power is in the units, if that makes sense, and you're extra level most of the times. Anyways, he does win here. He does find the Galio pair, which is super good. 30 gold on level 8, by the way, so he's actually very efficient with his money here, which is super good to see. And you find prismatic ticket, Baboom, and Warding Crown. Now, this is a very good learning opportunity for people who struggle with augment selection. I think if you are looking at this, naturally you're just thinking, okay, I'm just gonna look at the stats. It makes no sense to take prismatic ticket. It makes no sense to take Warding Crown here. I'm just gonna take Boom. But why is that? And in fact, why is it the correct choice? And the reason why is this. So as we can see, he rerolls left side and right side. And some people might be a little bit like, oh, maybe new recruit's so good in the stats. Like, oh, maybe I should take new recruit. When it comes to your augment choices in general, you do want at least one combat augment. You want, sometimes you can get away with like one econ augment and like some combat or whatever, or you know, you want to mix it up a little bit, if you will, right? There's econ augments, there's combat augments, but if you have only econ or you have only combat, you start to fight yourself in these situations where if you take only econ, great, you got a lot of money. Fighting your units, not too hard, but guess what? You have no fucking power. There's no oomph in your board. You're lacking a little bit of that pizzazz, you know? Jesus, the adjectives are going crazy today. But like I was saying, anyways, if you go full combat, the problem is sometimes you don't have enough money to find your units, and then that becomes a problem. So a good mix, a good healthy balance is nice. And in this scenario, the only one that gives us a lot of combat power is Baboom. Now you could be like, I don't know, I feel like Setsuko might roll the middle one. He might go, I'm bored, and then just fucking re-roll it and try to hit Jewel Lotus 3. And then he hits it and he yells GG into the microphone, right? And then it fucking cuts out. But Baboom is good enough. And Dish Soap, being the calculated player that he is, takes Baboom here, which makes the most sense because Baboom is not even like that bad. It's still very, very solid in the spot, especially when playing around Lilia. It is one of her best augments, especially when playing around for Invoker, which I think is what Dish Soap is going to sort of lean towards here, if you will. Now, obviously, as you're looking at his board, it's not the most standard of boards, if you will. We do have a Galio too that we have. Not necessarily like bad by any means. Actually, Galio is one of the better forecast tanks, if anything. The thing is, though, I think for a lot of players who are lower elo, they might start to struggle in a spot like this because they see that they fit Galio, but they're not really thinking like, oh, I can just substitute Galio as my my pseudo Nautilus, if you fucking will, until, you know, I can use him and take him my way to 9 and then start looking for the Nautilus and pivoting into the quote-unquote correct board, if you will. This isn't the strongest potential by any means, but to get through stage 4 and to get yourself to level 9, it is still very, very solid. So Dish Soap, again, really being incredibly economically efficient. Like, the fact that he's like 37 gold here on 4-3 level 8 is crazy, because it means he's rolled very, very little, but was still able to find exactly enough, really. Not exactly what he was looking for, but exactly enough to push himself stronger than the rest of the tempo of the lobby and get himself to keep chugging along and, you know, maintaining his tempo. Now, as we're scouting around, we can see that there's some scary players across the lobby. There is 1-7 Ink Shadow player who has potential to cap out pretty high based on their tattoos. There's another player with Golden Egg, which is a little bit of a problem. I believe Li Xiao, who's 7 HP, is also on a Fortune cash out, and I believe that they need, I think in this spot, I believe there's so, yeah, I'm pretty sure he checks his board here. We can pause it a little bit if we can, but yeah, right here. So you can see his board. He's Aurelia 2, 4 Bruiser, Silas 2. This board is crazy fucking strong, and Li Xiao is 1 away from cashing out. So that's also a problem. He's at 73 cash out, by the way. So if this Li Xiao guy actually manages to find it, it's a bit of a problem. Bintum as well. You can see on his bench. He has an 82 just sitting on his bench. What does that mean? He also has an 82 on his board. What does that mean? He has a fucking champion duplicator on his bench. Hold on. This guy might actually hit fucking 83. also a problem. So now we gotta hold Annie's. We gotta be careful of the Fortune guy, who luckily died, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. And, you know, scouting around, making sure that the Ink Shadow guy doesn't outcap us by any means. But again, overall, this lobby is crazy. Oh, and the fucking egg guy. Of course, how can I forget the egg? Egg guy, in general, I don't think is necessarily that good. Typically, you take egg, and it's kind of, like, really underwhelming because you traded so much HP for, like, a cash out that doesn't feel like it's worth the HP you lost. So, I mean, I don't really agree with the egg play, but I can see why he took it. I believe he's the 85 HP guy. No, sorry, it's Ning Li. He's the 52 HP guy. But I believe this guy's also trying to play for first, so he was like, I gotta take golden egg, I gotta go for first. So honestly, everyone here is writing their own story, and quite honestly, all of them are incredibly compelling. But this show still manages to squeak by here, 81 HP. I believe he's at 50 gold at this point. And dude, like, honestly, like, this spot is crazy good. His spot is looking very fantastic, and I think in most lobbies, I think it's almost a guaranteed first at this point. As you can see here, he didn't actually paint on the last turn here because he wanted to make sure that if he were to paint, he would paint a unit that he actually wants. So he's staying at 4. Right now, people are pinging his board a little bit. I believe KC Double is pinging his board, and the reason being is because he's also somebody that needs to win. So he's like, hey, guys, careful. This guy might go for like a 3-star 4 cost or whatever. So he's like constantly pinging like Disho's board. But anyways, Disho makes it a 9 here, finds the Hui 2, which is super good. I think his birthday present actually was the Hui 2, so he just got it for free. So he's gonna be, I believe, printing the Azir here, I believe, is the correct play from what I can tell. Get the TG onto them. Yep, that makes sense. And looks like a bunch of tank items, 3 item tank, 3 item carries. Life is good. This board is super solid. Hui 2, Lilia 2 on 5-1. His board is looking spectacular. This spot is looking great. Still losing, but that's okay. We still gotta get, I believe we need, what are our traits? I believe it is, we have 6 mythics, so we need the Nautilus 2, we need some other things, we need 4 Invoker, we need an Annie. So there are definitely better ways to cap out our board here. This is definitely not the way to go. Again, Case Double is picking the crap out of his board, which is kind of crazy to see because Bintam, in case you're gonna see on the bottom right hand side, just hit 83. That is an 83 with a Bruiser Crown. So this double guy is like constantly paying Disho's board, and like, dude, like, you're paying Disho's board, but this guy just hit 83. Like, what's up? You know, I think in Double's head, at least the thought process is probably like, listen, like, if this Bintam guy like fucking wins, at the very least, like, it's not checkmate. Like, he doesn't win the tourney. He gets in the check, but he's not where, you know, points wise he's not there yet, so he can't actually like checkmate everybody else. But anyways, we have an 83 in the lobby now. Now what do? 83, by the way, hella fucking early. It's 5-3. So we have an 83 in the lobby. What's our win condition, right? What the fuck is the win condition? So we need to start planning in situations like these. You can't just like throw your hands in the air. Oh, this game's all luck. Oh, blah, 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 whatever, right? No. The perfect player, or a smart player, I guess, really, would say, okay, somebody has an 83. What the hell is my out now? And Dish Soap is formulating, trying to figure it out, because he does have a way. He does have something that can paint for him already. He's already found the hard part, which is getting the way to start painting, right? What is our win condition here? Could it be a 3-star 4 cost? Could it be a 3-star 5 cost? What could actually potentially beat 8 Bruiser and E3? So this Soap at this point is starting to really, the bro's plotting, man. Bro is thinking, okay? He's on his fucking like mad scientist type beat. Like, he's trying to figure, okay, like, how the fuck can I concoct my win condition to beat out the fucking 83 player? Because at this point, he knows he's strong. His board is so goddamn strong. He's at the very standard 5 Invoker 5 Mythic 4 Invoker board, excuse me. TFTacademy.com. But, like, he's got a strong board. He's not really worried about any of the other players. And in fact, his HP is so high, he knows the 83 player is going to beat everybody else anyways. So by the time that it's his turn to start taking a beating from the child, he is going to be like, okay, well, everybody else is dead. It's already a top 2 guaranteed. But how do I actually beat the child in game? Jesus. Anyways, moving on. He's thinking, okay, the point is, they're still trying to formulate. So he's thinking, okay, maybe it's a Hui 3 angle, maybe it's a Lilia 3 angle, maybe it's a Nautilus 3 angle, right? He's trying to figure out like what could potentially be a good out for him. And Galio was also on the table as well. I think Galio 3 is also a very, very good choice. But the problem is that with Galio 3 is that it's not as good. It doesn't benefit from the traits like at all. In case you haven't realized, on the right hand side, or sorry, the left hand side, because that's where the traits are, you fucking dumb one. But the traits are all on the left side, and yeah, he's not benefiting from anything. He doesn't have Bruiser in, he doesn't have the Tom Kenshin, so it's not really looking like Galio 3. It's probably Nautilus 3, Hui 3, Lilia 3. It could be a sell board angle and try to go for the 3-star 5 cost. It's very possible, but if he's being denied, that's also something to keep in mind. But as you can see here, we are still on that potential Hui 3 train. Now he levels here, which I think is so interesting. He levels here. I didn't pause in time. I'm so sorry. I spoiled it. He hits a Wukong too. I'm sorry. But he leveled here and he didn't roll because he wanted to potentially hit Hui or Azir out of the birthday present and make it easier for himself to try to hit 3-star 5 cost. So he was, as we've talked about at the very beginning of the video, he's playing for this like high roll out, if you will. he does talk about in the VOD during his commentary, he's like, I don't know if it actually takes into account the units that are taken out of the pool. So, which is a good thing to point out. In case you didn't know, there are only 9 exact copies of a 5 cost inside of the pool. So, for example, there's only 9 ways. And right now, Dish Soap has 6 of them. So, if he rolls birthday present and it turns out, hey, like, there's not enough ways in the pool for you to actually hit another way 2 here, the game would give you a different one. But we don't know if that's actually how it works or not. We kind of need confirmation on it. It seems like a lay duck type question, type beat. So, yeah, type shit. Anyways, moving on here. There's so cleaning up the garbage, if you will, here. Clears out somebody else. I believe this is Lichuan. And then Bintum, again, the guy with the 83, wins out here. So now it is Dish Soap versus Bintum. And Dish Soap, again, he needs this win. Bintum doesn't actually need it because Bintum is not in check yet. So Dish Soap wins this, and if Dish Soap goes first, the tourney's over. It's checkmate. He won, right? So, again, we are trying to play for these 3-star forecasts and whatever outs. I think he has scouted around, and I think, as you can see, this guy, okay, so Bintum has Galio 2, so again, so we already covered Galio 2 is not a possibility here. So he's really just looking for the rolls here and trying to look for any type of out. We only have 3 Nautiluses, we have 6 ways, and we have, I believe, 4 Lilias that we are slowly trying to copy here. So it's close. Like, we can definitely try to find some level of an out here. There's actually a 0 on Carousel, which is nice. We could potentially look for that as well. But as you can see here, Dish Soap doesn't actually move here because he's trying to, like, fake out the opponent, but it doesn't work out. He's too smart, which it is what it is. Is rolling down here, just doesn't really find anything. Just any upgrade is good. He's trying to reduce the losses if he can because he wants to at least get one more paint off to try to get that last unit copied, and maybe that last copy makes or breaks the game for him. So as you can see here, positioning wise, also really interesting to see. This is something that you do against specifically 3-star Annie, but anything that has like a large AoE and a large stun effect. The idea being is that if you spread out your units, Annie won't be able to hit like all your units at the same time, so you can get more damage off and try to clean it up. But it looks like, as we can see here, Dish Soap is on 3 copies now. He ends up giving up on the way because I think he saw that somebody else has way. And look at his fucking shot, man. He actually hits he hits 4 Nautiluses. That was 4 Nautilus. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. I'm gonna play this in real time. Hold on. Let me just. This is absurdity. Let's just play this in real time here. He finds 1 Nautilus, rolls, sells his way 2, another Nautilus, rolls again, another Nautilus, sells his way, another Nautilus. What is this, fucking Oprah Winfrey? And then he finds another Nautilus. He locks his shop, and now he just has to survive. If he can get a good loss off of here, he can actually paint and get a Nautilus 3 on his board. This was like, dude, I know I watched this in real time. I didn't watch this in real time. I had to watch it back because I had some shit I had to take care of in the morning. But I remember watching this, but I don't remember him hitting 5 Nautiluses in 1 turn. This is like Oprah Winfrey levels of generosity. Like, this dude's like, you want to have a Nautilus, you could have a Nautilus, and she's fucking like throwing this shit out like it's nothing. Or like the Mercedes, I guess. I forget what Oprah used to give out. I remember there's an episode she used to give out vacuum. Besides the point, you get the idea. Some of you don't even know who she is. That is concerning. But anyways, going back to this. Dish Soap looks like the fight is barely making it out alive. He actually kills the Galio, kills the Silence at the very end, and yeah, he actually kills the Galio. Sorry, I almost spoiled it. Well, I did spoil it, sorry. But 5 HP, and guess what? Nautilus fucking copies. Nautilus fucking copies, and guess what? We are sitting at a 3-star fucking Nautilus, man. We have the 3-star Nautilus online. And because it is now neutrals, Nautilus will be able to get a 3rd item. This motherfucker spawned 5 Nautiluses in 1, technically 6 turn, or 6 Nautiluses in 1 turn. Like, what the fuck? So now we really are on the cusp of potentially winning out. It's possible that we could win. It's hard to say the least though, because like the Nautilus unit, it's pretty good. It has an 8-second stun, I believe, but I believe so does Annie. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm too deep in the video. I can't figure that out. I'm not retaking this. Fuck that. Also, I'm hyped as shit. But, dude, watching this again it's so crazy. Ends up going with the Gargoyles here because he wants to just make sure that the Nautilus is tanky and can survive. I think Blue Buff would have been the best thing he could have asked for here, but that's okay. Just any mana item basically to let it cast. He does have a Loon 2 in shop here, so he could sell his bench to get a Loon 2 on the board. Again, he's positioning to really try and counter the Annie if he can, but also to try to get as big of a knockup as he can with Nautilus here. So you can see they're basically mirroring their positions with each other. And folks, this is a fucking doozy. Sells his bench, gets the Loon 2 on board. Every little bit of upgrade matters. And here we go. Annie, Bintum actually throws the Annie on the left side, and the reason why is because he thinks that he's going to swap his carries in the last second. Dish Soap actually fakes him out with the no swap, and now we see the Nautilus gets a huge knockup on the right hand side here. Everything goes up in the air and everything is stunned. Everybody is looking like deer in headlights. It is looking like a bad time for Bintum. The board is suddenly clearing up. Nothing left is on the field. Holy fuck, everything is dead, and the only thing left is Annie 3. Can we fucking beat up an Annie 3? Nautilus able to to get the cast off right before he fucking dies. It's okay, but Annie's got to get out of the sun very, very soon. Again, it's an 8-second stun. It's very long. She's looking fucking confused. She doesn't know what to do. Gets the cast off. It's not enough damage, though. Nautilus gets another cast off. It's 8 seconds now. We're heading into overtime. There's nothing that this Annie can fucking do. She can't even get the last cast off, and Bidum fucking dies. That was my Captain Flowers impression, but it fucking sucked. I'm sorry. But anyways, this show, like a fucking beast, goes out with a banger, first place, and set 11 concludes with Dish Soap being the fucking world champion, and NA comes out back on top for another year. NA 3 times on top in the past 4 sets, and then title winning set 9. By the way, what a good time to be a Japanese American. I hope you guys enjoyed something. I hope you guys thought that this was a fun video. We are back, by the way, with daily uploads for set 12, and I will see you guys all later. Take care, guys. Happy climbing, and get hyped for set 12, because set 12, in my opinion, is looking fucking good. Take care, guys. Happy climbing.